What's up, everybody? I'm Coach Proley.
I'm Coach Steve Heck.
Today we got 3 drills for you. 2 are mainly focusing on releasing, and our last one is more on reroutes and kind of stacking a defender, all of which have many different elements to them, but we wanted to bring 3 new drills to you guys to our YouTube channel. So without further ado, we'll get started. Our first one is Buffalo Jab. This is a good one that we like. Has 2 guys going at once, so it increases the amount of reps guys are going to get. So these first couple reps, they're just working a single jab. They want to keep their pads low and work through it and then stack them almost. We have the shoots there to kind of re-emphasize that low pad level. And then we're getting a contested catch at the end. So again, we have 2 guys going, working a single jab, working a release, stacking, contested catch.
The thing I like about this drill also is both pops are being used twice. The first pop is your release off of a defensive back. The second pop is your stacking phase. So you're using the same equipment and a condensed space, and you're getting 2 uses out of the same piece of equipment.
Another good part about this drill is kind of the location on the field where we're using it. We like to use a line, and that's kind of what our receivers can use as a judgment. You can see them kind of work the release move and then get back on that line by the time they get to the contested catch.
Yeah, and that's a great point, Coach, because we're putting the receiver in a very, very bad position here because we're putting him almost out of bounds by design, which is intentional, and then he has to try to fight to get back in and on top and conserve some sideline. So the problem is, though, often in game situations, players end up in those spots. So it's important to practice ending up in the spots we end up in the games.
Here we'll see a double jab.
Yeah, the first couple shots of it were one jab. This is a double jab. And let's give credit to Coach Iannello from Buffalo, who we got this idea from. We really liked the idea. We just added a few pieces to it. We added some agile bags and some pop-ups. But we do want to give him credit, which is why we named the drill after the Buffalo Bulls and Coach Iannello. So a shout out to him for a really cool drill design that we just kind of expanded.
And I think that's one thing that we kind of not sort of take pride in, but we like doing is we'll see a drill that we like and then think about how we can expand it, right? So we said, we found this from Buffalo and we didn't, not that it wasn't a good drill before, but we're just thinking how can we expand it for our guys and kind of improve it to fit our needs.
We have the agile bags in there to force the receiver to get vertical on his footwork, and that's an important thing, not to be dancing horizontal too much, to inch up on the defender and gain ground as you go. The agile bags force him to gain ground and go forward. The shoots mandate low pad level, and the pop-ups are, again, as we covered, releases and stacking down the line.
Get another shot of it here, still 2 jabs. You can see, too, a nice ineffective way to kind of add another distraction element or reroute element is just putting pool noodles through the handles here. Again, very inexpensive. We use it a lot.
We're going to get to a spot here in this drill. We're going to change it a little bit, and we're going to take the guys that were distractors and contested catch guys, and we place them behind the pops now, and we use their crowns to be more of an active defensive back. And it also gets you a more active stack situation. And that's another variable to this drill. You take a drill and you can expand it and do some other things with it. So that's coming up in a couple reps here. Two balls being caught, 2 balls being thrown. I don't like seeing drills where the receiver runs a route, doesn't get a throw, or he's just working on footwork. Try to end every drill with some sort of a catch, even if it's, a small space drill. Here, you have a red zone contested fade, and you have about a 30-yard sideline, middle of field type throw.
And again, kind of like what I said at the beginning, what I like most about this drill is we got 2 guys going at once, right? So if you have a bunch of receivers, there's not a lot of guys standing around kind of waiting their turn. You can get 2 guys going and each guy's getting a catch. So we're maximizing the amount of reps that guys are getting in a given period.
Yeah, and as they both go through the shoots together, you recreate some of the kind of the dynamic of a chaotic environment as you release. Even though they're not hitting each other, it becomes a much busier drill with two guys going simultaneously. You could do this with one player. It still is effective if you don't have as many players, but it is a really good drill to do with two guys. It doubles your reps. Balls being caught and thrown. You can work it on the hash mark if you want, but the line, we're using the sideline here as a landmark to try to get back on top of that line. It's also important to understand that we can go either side. You can stack from the inside out. So you look at the goal line, Jake's running to the goal line here. He's going to be stacking the defender from the inside out. Very important to work on that too. It's not always an outside in stack. Here you have an inside out stack going into the end zone. Good illustration of that. Here's the situation we were talking about. We've moved our crown defenders. Now they're standing behind the pops. And now they're getting work on primary release at the line of scrimmage, and then they're getting the stack phase where the receiver has to get head and shoulders and deal with that crown and try to get on top of that defender. Just a little change we made in the drill as we were doing it. Something else just to give the receiver another thing to look at and feel.
Another good shot of it here. You can also notice that now our end zone fade, it's not a contested catch anymore. So now we're kind of putting it more on them,
There it is.
like a right now throw in the hole. It's important to kind of mix up the different types of throws guys will get in the red zone. I think that's a good element to this drill as well. All right, now we have cut in half. So, Coach, you want to give us a quick rundown before we run it?
Cut in half is a versatile catch-all drill that really works on several phases of playing wide receiver. You have a line of scrimmage press release scenario with a pop-up and two agiles, again, funneling the receiver forward, but in a confined space. And you have a defender standing behind the pop with a crown. So the receiver has to use some hand technique and to defeat some low bars, high bars, press coverage. And then as you get to the middle of the drill, we have a long probe stick and a cone. It's hard to see the cone from this shot, but it's hanging out there at the 5-yard line. And the probe stick's going to be working a high bar or a low bar. The receiver's going to circle the cone, and as he's circling the cone, he's going to get that high bar or the low bar, which we're going to either chop down or we're going to wipe up depending on the bar. Then we're going to accelerate through a shoot, which is about at the 9-yard line. And we're going to use our separation technique. We're going to throw a pop, which is aligned inside the receiver. The pop's at the 14-yard line. We're going to get a catch, which is a curl. And then we're going to accelerate through a series of 4 agile bags. And the design of this is really player-friendly. We're going to go 10 yards forward or 12 yards forward, and we're going to recycle and come back 12 to 13 yards and finish where we start. So even though we go about 24, 25 yards, we make a loop and we use the space and try to save the player's legs. So we're talking about a little load management here. There you see the circle in the cone, throw the pop by. Now we get ball security as 3 guys are getting back in the drill and punching the ball with crowns and probe sticks.
What I think I like most about this drill, Coach, is we have the release element in the beginning, the reroute with the cone, and then the throw-by technique all into one, and then throwing into it ball security to finish off. I mean, we're working a lot of different techniques for receivers all in one drill. So it's not one of these drills that we're just working one thing and that's the end of it. We're kind of hitting a bunch of different techniques that we want our guys using all in one drill.
There is multiple fundamentals here. This is a drill we will do every week. We'll do it with the entire group, and we'll get a lot of reps at it. Each guy will get 2 or 3 catches, and the guys that are not in the drill are going to be used as the probers and the ball security guys and working on the release. So everybody's getting work here, and we're working multiple fundamentals: separation, ball security, reroute, release, top end breaks. We're getting all that stuff in about a 5 to 7 second burst. Here you see an example of with the bars here. All right, we'd like to be a little more. We want to use both hands. So you see his left arm really was kind of dead in this rep. It doesn't really. It's not like he's running. You know, we want to keep that left arm working too. The right arm is trying to work on that bar. And we can really zero in on the top end break here on the throw by as he runs to the pop. All right, we'd like to see him almost try to run by the pop. Nice catch there, but he stops a little short. We want him to run by the pop and then throw it by. So this was one of the first reps he did this, and Craig's a little bit better at it, gets a little bit lower, but this is our separation here on the throw by. Hands low, nice catch there, and explode through the goal line.
Yeah, like we almost want him next to the pop to throw it by, not stopping in front of it, because then it kind of takes away the whole purpose of the throw by. So when you're teaching this to your guys, make sure you tell them, hey, we want you almost neck and neck or hip to hip with that pop up before you throw it by.
Again, same thing as our Buffalo jab drill. You can work either side, releasing. Just a note about release techniques. We don't try to teach 1,000 release techniques. Each receiver's different, and they're all gonna release differently. So, you know, we work some clubs and some rips, but it's not. We don't want to have 1,000 things in a player's head at the line of scrimmage. I don't want guys playing slow. So you master a couple releases and get good at them, and each release is tailored to the individual. So not everybody's going to use the same techniques.
All right, next up and finally we have re-vertical. Take it back here to the beginning. So re-vertical is a good drill we use for reroutes and then stacking the DB after the reroute. And we're going to get 3 catches here, Coach. 3 catches in here with a contested catch to finish. So he gets the first reroute, avoids it. We have a shoot here that he works underneath for the cut. Catches ball 1, works through agiles. He's getting probed. That's our ball security element. We like to use the trash can so we can discard balls easier. Another reroute, stack. Quick catch and can here, and then we're going to finish off with that contested corner or fade route.
Yeah, so let's back it up here. So a couple things. Good takeoff here by Jake. Now, the thing I criticized him here was the high arm, the arm up. All right, that's fine every once in a while, but he's exposing his rib cage on that swim move. All right, we'd like to see him run a little bit farther past the shoot, make a little bit more of a deliberate cut. All right, he's planning a little bit too soon. Ball security here, you're getting it punched, fine. Put the ball in the can. Now, we don't want to lose a lot of time. The key to me with this drill is the fact that we have a defender right behind the pop-up, which is a little bit different than a lot of people doing these drills. So you're having to deal with the pop-up, and then you get a crown shot. The second thing that's important here is as we set it up, he comes out of the next shoot. The can forces him to plane downhill. All right, so we want to come downhill a yard on that dig break or the out cut. We see how he's working downhill a yard. That's a nice job. And then the contested fade is just something to finish the drill off. Could be a corner cut, could be a slot fade. You can mix it up. You can end it any way you want. We're just using like a corner cut here in the back of the end zone. So 3 catches, really working on re-vertical. Here's Craig now. Craig's rep here isn't great because you see him drift coming out of that pop-up. Watch how he doesn't stack as quickly as we would like. We want him tighter to that defender and more violent. All right, see how he kind of, as he goes into the shoot, he's going in on an angle instead of going in straight. All right, and that's one thing we would like to have him do better. So re-vertical, again, working on releasing reroutes, 3 catches, contested catch, and some ball security. Another catch-all drill that's got multiple fundamentals.
So those are our 3 drills for you guys today. We got Buffalo jab, cut in half, and like Coach just said, re-vertical. If you have any more questions, feel free to reach out to us. All 3 of these drills are also on our Twitter. Hope you guys enjoyed them. Thanks.
Thank you for your interest.